don't lack potential. You've never lacked potential. What shapes your life isn't what you could do, it's what you repeat. And until patterns change, potential stays theoretical. See, most people spend years trying to unlock their potential. And the real question is much simpler. What am I practicing every day? Because your life doesn't just organize itself by possibility, it organizes itself around repetition. And if this resonates with you, stay with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. No pressure. Now, before we talk patterns, let's slow down the nervous system a bit. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to hold it for 4, and we're going to release. And we're going to do that 2 times, and we're not going to rush the process. So let's go ahead and breathe in. Hold it. Release. Breathe in. Hold it. Release. Now, if you've ever felt frustrated with yourself, like explaining your own potential to yourself over and over again, like, I know I have the potential to do this. I can do this. This session is going to bring you clarity, not judgment, but clarity. Your brain learns through repetition. We've talked about this. It's not going to respond to criticism very well. So today, we're not analyzing who you should be. We're observing what you've been practicing. And observation creates choice. Welcome. I am Simply Bettina, your mind architect and lifestyle design strategist, and you've just entered a space where transformation is elegant, intentional, and grounded in truth. This work exists because for a long time, I believed my life depended on unlocking my potential. More talent, more motivation, more proof I was capable, more. When will it end? But what I learned instead was this. Potential doesn't shape outcomes, patterns do. Understanding what patterns I was consistently exhibiting, your brain learns through repetition, not criticism. So today, we're not analyzing who you should be, we're observing what you've been practicing. And observation creates choice. And who doesn't love choices? Transformation isn't about discovering something missing in you, it's about understanding what you're already rehearsing and deciding whether or not it aligns with the life you want to live. Today's session is not about fixing yourself. It's about seeing clearly what you've been practicing, often unconsciously. You're not here to force change. You're here to understand what moves the needle. Without awareness, patterns remain automatic. Today, we're simply bringing patterns to light. Your brain strengthens what you repeat. I repeat, your brain strengthens what you repeat, not what you desire, not what you intend, but what you practice. If you repeatedly delay decisions or overthink or abandon yourself to keep the peace, or simply wait for the right moment all the time, those are the patterns that shape your outcomes. Your brain strengthens what it repeats, not what you desire, not what you intend, what you practice. So if you repeatedly delay decisions or overthink, abandon yourself to keep the peace, or simply just waiting for the right moment, those are the patterns that shape your outcomes, no matter how much potential you have. And this isn't failure. This is neuroplasticity without the intention behind it, without the design. Your brain is always adapting. It's always learning from repetition. It is important that we become aware of what we are repeating, whether it's unconscious or conscious. And the things that we're doing unconsciously really need a keen eye placed on them. So the question is never whether the brain is changing. The question is whether we're changing consciously. And this is why the Ultimate Transformation Lifestyle Design Guide focuses on daily practices instead of motivation. Because lifestyle is what trains the brain over time. Potential imagines a future, but patterns build one. Ask yourself quietly, what patterns show up when I feel stressed, uncertain, or afraid? What patterns are showing up when you feel stressed, uncertain, or afraid? What patterns? Do you withdraw? Do you over explain? Do you delay decisions? Do you look for reassurance before trusting yourself? Now ask yourself this: which of my daily behaviors are rehearsing the life I want, or which are not? No judgment. Patterns were built through repetition, not failure. And this is the introspection of the Conscious Ascension Compass, learning to observe your inner landscape without shame. Because once a pattern is seen, it's no longer automatic. Now let's take a slow breath and just relax ourselves, because we want to be in a state of relaxation when we are attempting to become aware of these patterns. We cannot be stressed. We can't have anxiety in us. We can't be tense. We need to be relaxed. Now, I want you to say to yourself silently, I don't need to prove my potential. I need to practice alignment. Most people try to change from shame, but shame keeps the nervous system defensive. We have to learn to love ourselves, love our struggles, love everything that we've been through. When you move from shame to strategy, patterns become workable instead of personal. And this is where the change actually begins. Here's what most people misunderstand. You don't rise to your goals, you rise or fall to your patterns. It's about these patterns. Neuroscience, the brain is telling us it is about these patterns. It is about how we wire ourselves. This is why it is so important to rely heavily on alignment between awareness, behavior, and daily practices. Because change does not happen in the big moments, it happens in the repeated moments. That's why they say it takes 21 days to build a new habit or break a new habit. It's the small wins that eventually create the big wins. The Ultimate Transformation Lifestyle Design Guide approaches change simply. You identify these unconscious loops, choose intentional replacements, and then you're going to practice small, repeatable shifts. It's not dramatic change, it's consistent change. Ask yourself now, if my life reflected my most practiced patterns, what story would it currently be telling? Awareness turns repetition into choice, and we love choice. That's why it's important to be aware. Choice is where the design begins. And this is the moment where many people either change or return to frustration. Because this is not an easy journey. It is definitely a satisfying journey when you become intentional about what it is that you desire in your life. That is why we don't chase potential here. We design patterns, because patterns create identity and identity creates outcomes. Before you leave this space today, yes, unfortunately, it's come to that time again, but we'll be back next week. I want you to sit with this. What is one pattern I'm ready to practice differently, starting now? What pattern are you unconsciously behaving in? Or you could be consciously behaving in this pattern, but it just does not align with the future version that you desire to be. What pattern is that? No pressure. Just one shift. One shift is enough to begin rewiring. You are not behind because of unused potential. You're becoming through practice alignment. You're not stuck, you're practiced. And anything practiced can be redesigned. You're not changing who you are. You don't have to change yourself. You're more or less becoming intentional about who you are becoming. And if this resonated with you, please stay with me. This is where we stop hoping for change and start designing a life we were meant to live. Until next time, remember, you are the architect of what comes next.